Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's picks and predictions time for Penn State football for the season. We're going to make some predictions, maybe some bold predictions about Penn State's 2019 season. Gregory,
Bob.
it's late August.
Mm-hmm.
The season is almost here, and it's time to make some picks about the season. Maybe we'll make a bold prediction too. I think the fans would like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Penn State's season. You can go first. 12 games. I think it's sneaky tough. Where did you land on the Lions for 2019?
I was 9-3, so it'd be over the win total of 8.5, but not 10 wins, obviously, and then getting them into double digits, which a lot of people around the country, especially some national folks, have seemed to think that they are, 10 bound for 10 wins, if not more.
Right.
If a couple of things fall their way and if they can overcome some things that they have not been able to in the past, it's certainly possible. I wouldn't rule it out. But you mentioned the tricky schedule. They have to go to Iowa, where they needed a last-second drive and a touchdown at the buzzer to win the last time they were out there. And it's always a tough place to play.
Correct.
They have to go to Michigan State. They have not been great against some of the top Big Ten teams on the road. They have to go to Ohio State. So, that's before you even get to a home date with Michigan, which obviously will be Josh Gaddis' homecoming and the new look Michigan offense, whatever that ends up being by the time that contest rolls around in October. So I was 9-3. I think that, out of the gate, they probably couldn't ask for a better opportunity to get a lot of young players, especially on offense, some good experience and some confidence on the Beaver Stadium turf. You look at Idaho, they're just not very good. I don't know what else to say. Their leading tackler suspended for the game. That they don't have a lot to write home about. That should be a walkover. The Buffalo game, night game, I think it's another good experience. Again, a little bit of a different environment, a little bit better opponent, but they're not Appalachian State. They're not going to come out and really scare you. Or if they do, then, there's a problem. We might have to edit this video and talk about 8-4 or something like that. But, once you get into Pittsburgh, a little bit tougher an opponent, nationally televised game, noon start, still should be 14-point favorites. So, you get into that Maryland game. Yeah, it's a different environment. It'll be Maryland Super Bowl. It's on a Friday night. Should be sold out. Most of those will be Penn State fans. Just starting with the month of September, 4-0 seems like as close to a lock as you can get.
Well, I also have them 9-3, so you're a copycat, and I don't like you anymore.
Right.
But I think we may differ. Where we may differ might be on the games that they may lose. I think we probably both agree it's tough to pick them to beat Ohio State. I don't see it. I think they can hang with them, but that's a tough place to play. They had a pretty good team in 2017 that faded late. So I have them losing that game, which is also, by the way, very late in the season. I think it's the second to last game.
Correct. And then they come back with the Rutgers.
So you have them losing to Ohio State as well?
Correct.
Who are your other two losses?
So I think to get the 3 losses, you had to go one of 2 ways. I guess you could go one of 3 ways, but I am losing at Michigan State. I have them beating Iowa at Iowa, and I have them losing to Michigan at home. So that's a little bit of a diversion, I think, from most 9-3 picks, because I think you'll find Iowa as a loss and Michigan State as a loss, and it's totally fair. I mean, when you consider that the road history in the James Franklin era against top teams is fairly putrid. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, there's not there's not a whole lot of good road victories to hang your hat on, but I think they can go beat Iowa out there. I think that the Iowa team, the consensus on them is out. Sort of. I think there's some people who think this will be a good Iowa team. I think there's some that think it's mediocre. I'm in that camp. So I think they can win out there. I think Michigan is, one of the division favorites for a reason. I think Jim Harbaugh knows that he's going to, if he's going to win the Big Ten, I think he knows it's this year. I think Josh Gaddis can revolutionize that offense a little bit. Now, if Harbaugh decides to stick his finger in the mud and go back to, wing tee or whatever, the I form and all that crap, then can we say that? I guess we can. Maybe we'll edit it out later. But if they go that way by October, then I'll certainly feel a different way come game week. But I think going into the season, I like what they have a little bit more. And I think I know a little bit more about what they have compared to what Penn State has.
All right. So if the schedule plays out the way you see it, that means that after year 6, James Franklin will be a combined 4-14 against Ohio State, Michigan State. I'm not sure that'll sit too well with the fan base, young team, old team, no matter what.
3-15. Lose to Ohio State, lose to Michigan, lose to Michigan State.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually worse.
Right.
I got to go back to school for math. I thought so you have them losing all 3 games.
Correct. And beating Iowa on the road.
Oh, Greg, that's bad news.
Yeah.
I'm
awaiting the anger email. So send them.
I don't see it that way. I said more than a month ago that the Big Ten West has about caught the Big Ten East, and you kind of laughed at me. You did.
Still am.
You did laugh at me, even though
Disagree.
everyone else is starting to realize that as well. I think it's true. I think there's 6 teams in the Big Ten West that could win and go to the Big Ten title. I think that's how balanced it is, except for Illinois. Now, they are putrid. That is an acceptable use of the word putrid when you talk about Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
That's putrid. The other 6 teams are all dangerous. And with that in mind, I say Penn State loses at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Michigan. They win at Michigan State. I'm not buying that offense. They're going to lose at Iowa because I do think Iowa's due. They should have won the last 2 years. Credit to Penn State for finding ways to win those games on the last play. And that quarterback's interception is inexcusable. I think they're going to get him this year.
Nate Stanley.
Yes, but I think they're going to lose.
Another good way to use the word putrid.
I think they're going to lose at Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a sleeper in the Big Ten West. I think that team was pretty good at the close of last year. I think they play them at a tough time in the schedule. There's a stretch where they play 4 or 5 games that are going to be challenging. They could overlook them a little bit. I think Minnesota's pretty good. I think the Big Ten West is going to be what kind of gets Penn State a little bit this year. I think it's a strong division. I would say top to bottom, it's stronger than the Big Ten East. I think 9-3 is about right. I think they're going to have a signature win against Michigan. I think they're going to get Michigan State too. They're due to beat Michigan State. So let me see if I can do the math now. That would make them 5-13.
That's right.
5-13 against the powers in the Big Ten East, and I think that would represent some progress. They better win at least one of those 3 games.
Yeah.
Or I think the Wolves are going to be baying at the door. Is that the thing I just
never heard that?
I just messed up. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be people upset if they lose all 3 of those games. I don't think they will. I think they're too talented. So we both see 9-3, but we both see a very different way that 9-3 is going to play out.
If we'll have to figure out a friendly bet for that Minnesota game. I see no chance at the goal.
No chance
to Gophers beat the Lions in November.
I don't even know if I want any points from you. I'm going to take the points.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't want points?
I don't. I said, if you don't want points, that's fine. But
I'll just take bigger odds. Any bold? We want to get to one bold prediction for the fans.
Yeah, I think that they should be undefeated. This isn't a bold prediction, but before I get to that, they should be undefeated really going into that Michigan game, and
that's not a bold prediction.
It's not, but I was just going to say real quick that I think
say bold prediction.
Well, I said I was going to get to that, but Purdue, I think you'll find that that's talked about as a trap game as it gets closer. I'm not buying that. Rondell Moore is extremely impressive, the receiver out there, but there's not much else that impresses me about that team. I mean, bold prediction in terms of the 2019 season. We talked about one last week. I think Daniel,
I like that. That was a good one.
Daniel George will have more catches than Justin Shorter, just based off what we've seen so far. I could very well be wrong, but I think George might be a little bit ahead, even though they're both extremely talented. I think he's a guy that will really take a nice step forward this year in the production department. And then on defense, will Micah Parsons lead Penn State in tackles again? Yeah, I think he probably will. I think Jan Johnson hits the top 5 in the tackle category, though. I think he's a guy that a lot of people want to run off the field and find somebody else to play in that spot. But I just think that you can't overlook his experience. And, James Franklin said on Tuesday when talking about P.J. Mustipher that he loves wrestlers. Well, Jan Johnson's a national champion wrestler as a part of that team that Penn State wrestling team that won a few years ago that he was a part of, even though he didn't win a national title individually, obviously. But
didn't really come that close.
No, no.
But he was a PA state champion in high school twice.
I just think he's being maybe overlooked a bit as a guy that would be more of a contributor to this team than he's being given credit for.
I still don't know if they were really that bold predictions. Here's my bold prediction.
Okay.
For the second year in a row, Penn State will hold Pittsburgh without a touchdown.
Ooh. And
they may shut them out.
Okay.
How's that for bold?
I'll give you a bold prediction. Penn State beats Rutgers by 52 at Beaver Stadium.
He's not getting the concept of bold predictions. The next time we reconvene, we're going to have a little chit-chat about bold predictions, and you're going to come out firing.
Okay.
All right, that's it for this round of season picks and predictions. I can't wait to make our 2020 picks and predictions for the Penn State football program.